Supreme Headquarters, Allied Expeditionary Force, Versailles, France. General Dwight D. Eisenhower is bent over a large map, analyzing the Allied positions in Normandy. His senior staff, British, American, Canadian officers, surround him, all focused on the same pressing issue, breaking the deadlock in Normandy. For 2 months, Allied forces have been inching through the Norman hedgerows. Gains are measured in yards. Casualties are rising. The German defense is formidable. A decisive move is needed. General Omar Bradley points to the map. Operation Cobra will concentrate bombers here, blast a hole in the German line, and push armor through the gap. How long to exploit the breakthrough? Eisenhower asks. If we're lucky, a week to advance 50 miles, comes the reply. Eisenhower gives a slow nod. It's not swift, but it's movement. A British liaison officer enters. "Sir, an urgent message from Third Army." Eisenhower looks up. Patton's Third Army has just been activated. Their role is to exploit the breach created by the First Army. "What does Patton want now?" Eisenhower asks, his voice weary. The officer hands him the message. Eisenhower reads it once, then again, his expression shifting from focus to disbelief. He can't be serious. He reads aloud. "Third Army advancing south toward Brittany. Will secure Peninsula within 4 days, then pivot east toward Paris. Request permission to continue advance as far as fuel supplies allow." Bradley is stunned. 4 days? That's over 100 miles of contested territory. "I know the distance," Eisenhower says quietly. "Sir, it's impossible. No army can move that fast. The logistics alone." Eisenhower raises a hand. He picks up the phone. "Get me Third Army headquarters. I need to speak with General Patton immediately." 2 minutes later, Patton's voice crackles over the line. "George, I'm looking at your movement plan. You intend to advance 100 miles in 4 days." "Correct. Through enemy territory with limited fuel against German resistance." "Also correct, sir." "George, that is completely unrealistic." "Sir, the Germans are in chaos. Their lines are collapsing. If we move fast, I mean fast, we can be in Brittany before they know we've broken through. But we must move now." Eisenhower glances at Bradley, who shakes his head skeptically. "George, even if you could move that fast, your supply lines won't keep up." Patton responds with conviction. "Sir, we have a 48-hour window while the Germans are disorganized. If we wait for perfect logistics, we lose it. Give me permission to advance. I'll worry about supplies later." Eisenhower closes his eyes. Every rule of warfare says you don't outrun your supply. You don't advance faster than your support. You consolidate gains methodically. But Patton has never played by the rules. "All right, George, you have permission to advance, but if you run out of fuel and get stranded, I won't." "Third Army out," Patton cuts in. The line goes dead. Bradley looks at Eisenhower. He's going to overextend. He'll leave his army stranded deep behind enemy lines. Eisenhower stares at the map. Perhaps he'll accomplish something no one thought possible. 3 days later, another message would arrive, and reading it, Eisenhower would utter 5 words that would come to define Patton's entire career. This is that story. Section 1. The Breakout. July 25th to 31st, 1944, Normandy. Operation Cobra commences. A massive aerial bombardment followed by an armored assault smashes a hole in the German lines. American forces pour through. The First Army advances. Then the newly activated Third Army under Patton surges forward. Patton does not consolidate. He does not pause to organize supply lines. He attacks immediately with everything he has. "Keep moving," he orders his commanders. "Don't stop for anything. If you run out of fuel, siphon it from captured vehicles. If you run out of ammunition, use theirs. Just keep moving."
His tank commanders are astonished by the pace. They advance 20 miles the first day, 30 the second, 40 the third. German forces already reeling cannot react. By the time German HQ identifies Third Army's location, Patton has already moved on. Where is Patton becomes the most urgent, unanswered question in German headquarters. Section 2. The Race to Avranches, July 31, 1944. Avranches, a critical town controlling access to the Brittany Peninsula, German forces scramble to establish a defensive line there. If they hold Avranches, they can bottle up the American advance. Patton gives them no time. Third Army tanks reach Avranches before German reinforcements arrive. The town falls in hours. Brittany is open, Patton tells his staff. We go through. An aide suggests consolidating and bringing up supplies. No, Patton snaps. We consolidate, they organize. We go now while they're confused. His 4th Armored Division races into Brittany. The 6th follows. Infantry divisions pour through the gap. Within 48 hours, 3 entire divisions are fanning out across the peninsula, advancing so fast supply trucks cannot keep pace. Back at SAEF, officers stare at the map in disbelief. These markers must be wrong, a British officer insists. I've confirmed it 3 times, the intelligence officer replies. Patton is exactly where the map shows, and he's still moving. Section 3. The Fuel Crisis, August 3, 1944, 3rd Army HQ. Patton's quartermaster approaches, visibly worried. Sir, we have a problem. What? Fuel. We're running out. The supply trucks can't keep up. At current consumption, we'll be dry in 36 hours. Patton doesn't hesitate. Then we make it last 36 hours. After that, we capture German fuel depots and use theirs. Sir, that's... The Germans have fuel. We'll take it. In the meantime, cut allocations to all non-combat vehicles. Every gallon goes to tanks and fighting vehicles. Everything else walks. Sir, headquarters staff can't walk. Then they can damn well learn, Patton barks. He issues orders. Use captured German trucks for supply. Siphon fuel from wrecked equipment. Abandon non-essential vehicles. It's improvised logistics. It shouldn't work, but it does. Section 4. The Message, August 4, 1944, SAEF Headquarters. An urgent message arrives from 3rd Army. The 4th Armored has secured Rhine. The 6th Armored approaches Brest. Infantry controls all major roads in eastern Brittany. Request further orders. An officer updates the map. Eisenhower walks over, coffee cup in hand. He glances at the map and freezes. When was this sent? 10 minutes ago, sir. Eisenhower stares. 3rd Army's forces are over 100 miles from their start point in 4 days. That's impossible, he says quietly. We've confirmed the position, sir. 3rd Army is exactly where they report. Eisenhower sets his cup down and leans over the map, tracing the route. Good God, he says, he's already there. Bradley, standing nearby, shakes his head. We expected this to take 2 weeks minimum. He did it in 4 days. How? Later, Eisenhower sends a message to Patton. Congratulations on remarkable achievement. However, you are now critically low on fuel. Recommend consolidating. Patton's reply arrives an hour later. Acknowledge fuel shortage. However, German positions at Lorient and Seine remain unoccupied. Intend to secure before they reinforce. We'll worry about fuel later. Eisenhower reads it and laughs. A tired, incredulous laugh. He's out of fuel and he wants to keep attacking. Should we order him to stop? Bradley asks. Eisenhower considers. By every rule, he should. But Patton is winning. No, let him keep going. But ensure every available fuel truck is directed to 3rd Army. Whatever he needs, he gets priority. Section 5. The German Reaction, August 5, 1944, German 7th Army HQ. General Paul Hauser stares at intelligence reports with growing alarm. Patton's Third Army has advanced over 100 miles in 4 days. That's not possible. The intelligence must be wrong. We've confirmed it through multiple sources, the officer insists. American forces are in Rhine, approaching Brest. Infantry controls all major roads in eastern Brittany. It's Patton. Hauser sits down heavily. If Patton is in Brittany, the entire western flank is exposed. He could pivot east and be behind German lines in days. He has no good options. Fall back, he says finally. Establish defensive positions further east. We cannot stop Patton. We can only try to contain him. It is a tacit admission. Germany has lost the initiative.
Section 6. The Pivot, August 6th to 10th, 1944. Having secured most of Brittany, Patton does the unexpected. He pivots. Instead of securing the peninsula's ports, he turns his entire army 90 degrees from west to east and drives toward Paris. "Sir, we haven't secured Brest or Lorient. Those are major ports," a staff officer protests. "Ports don't matter if we end the war," Patton interrupts. "Paris matters. Germany matters. We're going east." In less than 48 hours, Third Army, over 200,000 men, changes direction and surges eastward. The maneuver is logistically chaotic, but Patton's staff makes it work through sheer determination. By August 10th, Third Army is racing toward Le Mans, then the Seine River, then the German border. "How far can we go?" Patton asks his logistics officer. "Sir, we're already beyond sustainable range." "I didn't ask if it's sustainable. I asked how far." The officer hesitates. "If we capture enemy supplies, maybe to the German border." "Then that's where we're going," Patton says. Section 7. Eisenhower's Dilemma, August 12, 1944. Sheaf. Eisenhower faces a command crisis. Patton is advancing so fast he threatens to outrun the entire Allied strategy. "He's almost at the Seine," Bradley reports. "If he crosses, he'll be 75 miles ahead. His flanks will be exposed." British Field Marshal Bernard Montgomery on the phone is furious. "This is madness. He's violating every principle. One counterattack and his army could be destroyed." "Monty has a point," Bradley admits. "Patton is taking enormous risks." Eisenhower calls Patton. "George, you're 60 miles ahead of schedule. You're outrunning your supplies. You're exposed. Every rule says you should stop." "I know, sir," Patton replies. "So why shouldn't I order you to halt?" "Because the Germans are shattered, sir. If we give them time, they'll rebuild their defenses. If we push now, we can be in Germany before they recover. We can end this war months earlier." "At what cost?" Eisenhower challenges. "If you get cut off, you could lose your entire army." "Risk is part of war, sir. The question is whether we accept tactical risk for strategic gain." Eisenhower closes his eyes. "George, I'm not ordering you to stop, but you can only advance as far as fuel allows. The moment you can't sustain your position, you halt. Understood?" "Understood, sir." After hanging up, Bradley asks, "Did you just give him permission to advance as far as he wants?" "No," Eisenhower says. "I gave him permission to advance until he runs out of fuel, which, according to logistics, should happen in about 3 days. Then we'll see if Patton can work another miracle." Section 8. The Seine Crossing, August 19th, 1944. Third Army reaches the Seine River weeks ahead of schedule. German forces are scrambling to set up defenses on the far bank. Patton gives them no time. His engineers improvise crossings. Tanks ford at shallow points. Infantry uses captured boats. Within 36 hours, major elements of Third Army are across. "Impossible," a German commander mutters upon receiving the report. "Patton can't be across the Seine. He was 50 miles away yesterday." "That was yesterday," his aide says quietly. At Sheaf, when Eisenhower receives confirmation, he calls his staff together. "Gentlemen, Third Army has crossed the Seine. Our original timeline predicted this for mid-September. Patton is 4 weeks ahead of schedule."
The room falls silent. 4 weeks, Eisenhower repeats. That means we are 4 weeks closer to ending this war. That means thousands of lives saved. He looks at the map, at the arrows now pointing toward Germany. I didn't think it was possible, but George proved me wrong. Section 9. Running on Fumes. August 25, 1944. Third Army grinds to a halt, not from enemy resistance, but from a lack of fuel. Patton's tanks are empty. Entire divisions stop moving. "Sir, we're completely out," his quartermaster reports. "We're stationary until supply trucks arrive." "How long? Maybe 3 days? Maybe a week?" "A week?" Patton explodes. "In a week, the Germans will rebuild everything." He calls Eisenhower. "Sir, I need fuel. Every gallon you can spare. We're sitting on the German border and we can't move." "I know, George, but fuel is limited. Montgomery's operation needs—" "Montgomery is sitting still," Patton shouts. "I'm 60 miles from the Rhine. Give me his fuel and I can be across in 3 days." The argument rages. Finally, Eisenhower makes a historic, debated decision. "I'm giving priority to Montgomery's operation. I'm sorry, George." Patton hangs up. He sits in silence, then turns to his staff. "Scrounge every gallon you can find. Captured supplies, abandoned vehicles, anything. We're not stopping, not when we're this close." Section 10. The Forced Halt. September 1944. Third Army sits stationary, burning with frustration. Patton's soldiers can see German positions in the distance. They are tantalizingly close, but without fuel, they cannot move. Patton visits forward units, trying to maintain morale. "We'll get fuel," he promises, "and then we're going to Berlin." Privately, he is devastated. He writes in his diary, "We could have ended this war by Christmas. We had them on the run. All we needed was fuel. This delay will cost thousands of lives." History would debate whether giving Patton fuel could have ended the war in 1944. But one fact remains. In August 1944, Patton's Third Army moved over 600 miles in 30 days, captured over 100,000 prisoners, and reached the German border months ahead of schedule. Section 11. The Historical Verdict. Post-war analysis yields staggering numbers. Patton's advance represents one of the fastest sustained military movements in history. He moved faster than Hannibal, faster than Napoleon in the modern era. Historians note the Germans couldn't defend because they couldn't predict him. By the time they identified his position, he was already gone, one writes. Patton understood that in mobile warfare, speed is its own protection, observes another. German generals confirmed this. Field Marshal Gerd von Rundstedt admitted, "We could handle Montgomery. He was predictable. But Patton? He appeared where he shouldn't be. Fighting him was like fighting a ghost." Closing, August 4, 1944. Eisenhower stands over the map, staring at markers that defy logic. "Good God," he says quietly, "he's already there." 5 words that sum up George C. Patton, the general who was always ahead of schedule, ahead of expectations, ahead of what anyone thought possible. The man who refused to accept impossible. When told he couldn't move that fast, he did. When told his supplies wouldn't support it, he improvised. When told to slow down, he sped up. "Good God, he's already there," was more than surprise. It was admiration, frustration, and awe. It was the recognition that Patton had done something no military doctrine had envisioned, moving not in miles per day, but in miles per hour. In August 1944, he proved that in war, speed isn't just an advantage. Sometimes it is everything.